Story 1. The Lost Donkey. One morning, Juha found his donkey stable empty. He ran through the streets searching for it. While searching, he was saying, "Praise be to God." Neighbors asked, "Your donkey is stolen. Why thank God?" Juha looked at him and said, "I'm thanking God because I wasn't riding it." The neighbors stood there, scratching their heads. "If I were riding it, I would be stolen too." The neighbor stood in silence, unable to understand his strange logic. He continued his search, happy to be safe and sound. He looked under every cart in the village. He even checked behind the thinnest trees. He asked everyone he met about his donkey. He was tired, but he didn't stop searching. He sat down for a moment to think of a plan. He decided to keep looking with a smile on his face. People were laughing at his very strange logic, but Juha didn't care about their talk at all. He went home as the sun was setting. Juha always finds a reason to be happy. Story 2. Rabbit Meat. A friend visited Juha and gave him a rabbit as a gift. Juha cooked a delicious soup and shared it with his friend. The friend ate the soup and thanked Juha for the tasty meal. After eating, the friend went back home. The next day, 3 strangers knocked on Juha's door. Juha asked, "Who are you?" They said, "We are friends of the friend who gave you the rabbit." Juha welcomed them and sat them at the table. He placed empty bowls in front of them. Juha came from the kitchen with a pot of clear, hot water. He poured the plain water into their bowls. The strangers looked at the water, completely surprised. They shouted, "Juha, this is just hot water. Where's the food?" Juha looked at them and smiled calmly. He said, "This is the soup of the rabbit." Juha explained that since they are distant friends, they get distant soup. The strangers were annoyed but couldn't say anything. They realized Juha was too smart for them, and they left. Juha cleaned the table, laughing at his own cleverness. He went, "If you want soup, bring your own rabbit." Story 3. Juha and the King. The Lie. The king promised a prize for the biggest lie ever. Juha entered carrying a giant empty clay pot. "Majesty, I'm here to collect a debt," Juha said. The king shouted, "I don't owe you anything." Juha said, "Your father borrowed this pot full of gold." The king roared, "That is the biggest lie ever." Juha smiled. "Then give me the prize for the lie." The king was trapped and started to sweat. He said, "Wait, maybe it is the truth." Juha said, "Then fill it with gold to pay the debt." The king had to fill the pot with real gold coins. Juha watched with sparkling eyes as it filled up. The king was angry, but he couldn't do anything. Juha dragged the heavy pot out of the palace. He thanked the king for his honesty and left. Juha became a rich man with one smart trick. He proved that wit is much better than power. Everyone was shocked by Juha's cleverness. He was a kind man as well as a smart one. Never ever try to outsmart Juha. Story 4. The Key and the Light. At night, Juha was searching under a street lamp. A friend asked, "Juha, what are you doing?" Juha said, "I lost my house key. Help me find it." They both searched the glowing circle for an hour. The friend asked, "Did you drop it right here?" Juha pointed to a dark alley. "No, over there." The friend yelled, "Then why search here under the light?" Juha said, "Because there is light here. It's easier." The friend couldn't believe Juha's strange logic. Juha continued searching right where it was easy. He was very serious about his search under the light. He completely refused to go into the darkness. He found many things, but not his missing key. The friend left Juha alone under the lamp. Maybe the key will come to the light, he thought. Even the cat was confused by what Juha was doing. He was sure the key had to be somewhere nearby. He eventually fell asleep right there on the street. In the morning, the sun showed him where the key was. Sometimes we look in the wrong places just for ease. Story 5. The Robe That Fell. A loud thump was heard from Juha's house at night. Neighbors gathered the next morning to ask about it. Juha opened the door looking very sleepy. He said, "Don't worry, it was just my robe falling." A robe? But the sound was so loud, they said. Juha rubbed his sore back and sighed. "I was still wearing the robe when it fell," he said. The neighbors laughed until they cried. Juha closed the door to hide his big embarrassment. He had a small bump on his head from the fall. He stayed in bed to rest his aching stick body. He decided to be much more careful next time. The robe looked innocent, but it was quite heavy. The whole village was talking about Juha's big fall. He finally went back to sleep very carefully. Even in his dreams, he was careful about falling. He walked very slowly down the stairs the next day. He made all the kids laugh with his funny story. Life in the world of Juha is never boring. See you in the next funny adventure.